deserves an encore.
Scoot over, D. I think I can scoot over. Yeah, there we go. So we all in the what's the name. Let's get it. Let's go. We live.
Oh, yeah.
Again, 1, 2, 3, let's go! Talk that talk.
Talk it. Ha, ha, hey.
Talk that talk.
We here.
We back in the
we
lab,
here.
man. Talk that talk.
You know what we do.
We keep it real.
Hey, on Talk That Talk.
We tell the truth.
Hey, on Talk That Talk.
That's what we do.
Hey, talk that talk.
That's what we do.
Hey, talk that talk.
That's what we do.
Hey, talk that talk.
Hey, that is what we do.
Yeah.
Yes. We're back.
I tell you.
In the lab.
Hey, not like us.
Not like, oh, hey, man, it's too soon, man. Let's start my Drizzy. Let's start my dog Drizzy out, man. But anyway, man, welcome back to another edition of Talk That Talk podcast. I go by the name of Bacon. I got my co-host, producer of the year, father, husband, semi-pro, 3-time champion in that building.
5 time. Don't shortchange me.
My bad.
Take 2 rings from you. I took that man. Took 2 of them from you.
His favorite player is Kobe Bryant. That's why. In the building, introduce yourself, big dog.
Hey, man, it's your boy, Mr. Too Many Reasons himself in the building.
Yes.
You feel me? Teacher.
Yes.
Officially.
Yeah.
You feel me? All over again. Graduating this Friday coming up, or next Friday coming up, man. My second master's in education. So, you know.
That's good, man. We got a brother in the building. Could you introduce our brother in the building?
Yeah, man. Hey, man. Y'all seen him before.
Yes.
He's been in the lab, in the studio with us.
Come on.
The big homie, Fresno ProAm co-founder, father.
Tell him.
He just does it all. You feel me? One of the people that is for the Fresno community and for the Fresno streets, the big homie Alton Williams in the building.
Man, appreciate you. Thank you guys for having me.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Man, a lot going on, man. We got a lot going on. We got some big announcements coming live here at Talk That Talk first.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that was a cold intro, though.
You like that?
The whole song. Come on, man.
It's lit. It's a solid intro, man. We try to keep it simple, man.
Everybody has said the same thing.
Yeah, man.
Everybody loves our intro.
It's like OG classic.
It is. It's funky.
Yeah, that's what I'm
It's
about
funky.
to say. Real funky, man.
Gives it a cool little vibe.
It's catchy.
You feel me?
Real
I know the whole song already now.
You feel me? And that's what you need.
That's
what you need. That's how you blow up. When you can know the song, we good. We good.
Man, but before we get into Fresno Pro-Am stuff, man, we gotta talk about some hoops, man. First and foremost, man, SGA was robbed.
He was
robbed, man, and we gotta talk about that. I want to get y'all thoughts on the MVP winner and who you thought should have won MVP, man. So who want to take that first, man? Because I'm disappointed.
I go, man. I had SGA as my MVP, just because when you look at the leap from the 8th seed to the 1 seed,
Facts.
His play last year to couple his play to step up this year, and how young that team is, and him basically being the savvy vet. Because SGA been in the league for a minute. What
are we looking at? What's a minute?
Six years? I think
About 6 years, yeah.
I think it's about year 6. And it don't even seem like it. He's still a young dude.
Young.
So, like I said, I feel like he was robbed, man. It was just one of those situations where, everybody just look at Jokic and what he does, but I'm looking at Denver, I'm like, well, that's still a good team. You feel me? They just went to the finals. And Jokic numbers wasn't no different than a Jokic numbers. Right. But when I'm looking at MVP and I'm looking at value, I know how valuable Jokic is to Denver, but I'm also looking at the value of SGA to the Thunder and how he just elevated them to a whole new stratosphere this season. So I'm definitely, I was definitely an SGA guy this season as far as MVP, and disappointed that he didn't win it. But congrats to Jokic.
How you feel?
I didn't have a real opinion about that until recently. I agree. I think SGA was robbed. I think he was the definition of a valuable player this year.
Yeah.
I like that point you made was, that big leap that OKC made from last year to this year. and what he means to that team and how he just elevated the franchise. But yeah, good. Shout out to Joker.
Yeah,
I think he's a phenomenal player. I think he's ahead of his time. I think he's gonna get that 15 retired over Melo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's already done.
But SG, yeah, that's already solidified.
It's already done.
He's in rare air, man.
Yeah.
He's in rare
Yeah,
air.
3 and 4 years.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy to think about. 3 MVPs in 4 years.
Two could have been. Well, he probably would have got 2 for sure if Embiid didn't get hurt. Because Embiid got hurt, and then they couldn't give it to Embiid because Embiid was on the tear that year.
This year, Embiid was on the tear before he got hurt.
Yeah.
Embiid could have, because Philly was like 1 or 2 at the time before Embiid get hurt. Embiid was averaging like 34, 12.
It was crazy.
He was going bonkers before he got hurt in January.
Yeah. So on technicality, here's my thing though. I'm not trying to take nothing away from Jokic, man. He's been a dominant player, dominant big man, one of the best bigs in a while, besides him and Embiid. But Embiid just can't stay healthy. That's only been his knock. But to see his transformation and how he has transformed the game and brought back big mans back into the game, right? Because everybody wanted it to be Embiid, but Embiid just couldn't stay healthy as we see now. Just, I don't know what it is. It's just some players, they always find a way to get hurt. It's not their fault. They playing hard. They just end up getting hurt. And you got a guy like Jokic who is reliable, durable, and he's getting better and better. He's a walking triple-double, putting up 20 rebounds on a regular night. You know what I'm saying? On a regular night.
Unathletic 20 rebounds.
I know, right? Because he's not the most athletic dude, but he's like one of the most fundamental dudes in the game. You know what I mean? And so I'm not mad at the choice. But when you see SGA where OKC was a year from ago, and they made some good draft picks, and they have been in contentions, and they was able, people talking about, well, they all had the same record. I don't give a damn. At the end of the day, they won head-to-head. Because if that was the case, the Denver Nuggets would have been number 1 seed. They wasn't the number 1 seed. So I'm saying if this man's been average, damn near scored 30 points in 50 games throughout this year, has his team at the number 1 seed, nobody thought he can do it. That, in my opinion, is the most valuable player. Nothing against Jokic, man. He has a great team. They won the NBA Finals. I'm not trying to discredit him for being great. But at the end of the day, this season, they wasn't the Denver Nuggets we thought to be. Even when you see them in the first round of the playoffs, when they played against the Lakers, they was losing dang near all games.
They trailed 148 minutes out of that series.
Exactly. Wow. So it was more of, I'm not taking nothing away from them, but it was more of the Lakers
not being good enough to finish.
Exactly. And now you see it right now, besides yesterday, we're going to get into yesterday, but besides yesterday, they've been losing at the crib too.
Getting ran.
So for me, I thought SGA should have been it. And maybe hopefully, that gives them some motivation to keep showing the world like, hey man, I'm different.
But I just think this is where, and before we move on, we have to change the voting something. I feel like it needs to be NBA players and like Hall of Famers, and that needs to be the voting committee with a few selected writers, because I think people aren't really watching Oklahoma City Thunder.
Right.
Like, you just get to see it because Denver got pushed in the forefront this year. They games is televised. Jokic is always on TV.
Yeah.
It becomes one of those situations where it's just like, we just gonna give it to Jokic because that's what we see a lot of. Thunder wasn't on TV like that, even with them progressing the way they was. So that's what I'm saying. I think we got to get back into the people who are playing the game.
Yeah.
Because again, to a player, they'll never knock Jokic. Right. But to a player, they look at like SGA was that guy this season.
Facts.
And so that's just kind of, I just think we got to because like I have a problem with the defensive player of the year situation, just because it was Gobert, Wemby, and Bam, and I'm like, so my guy AD just gets slighted. When you look at defensive numbers as an individual, he ranks in all that. But they looking at team defensive rating. Well, defensive player of the year ain't a damn team award.
Facts.
I thought he was talking defensive player of the year. And so it's like, so AD he gets slighted because what? Because if we just really doing defensive player of the year, Wemby blew all the numbers out the water.
Right.
And should have just won, but no, they gonna say, well, Wemby team's not good enough.
Come on, man.
So it's like you move the goalposts to fit the narrative of what you're trying to do. And again, it's no slight at Gobert. None. He can win it, but I'm saying the process and how we're doing these things, we need to re-examine.
Yeah. I mean, I would slight Gobert. No disrespect, man. He is in the league, but you see what his team did without him? You know, they had the best defensive performance in the playoffs without your quote-unquote defensive player of the year.
And somebody else said is like, how can Gobert be a defensive player of the year when in situations he's not even finishing games? Like, because you're a liability on the other side.
On offense?
Yes. He's a liability. Alton, when you come down the court, you looking to get a ball to Gobert in the paint and say, go give me 10, 12 points?
In the crunch time?
And again, just at any time.
At any time?
At any time. Would you come
What's
down
he
the
averaging right now?
As points, he probably about like 12.
Let's see.
If we can pull it.
Pull up the numbers.
He's a double-double guy, but he ain't averaging nothing like that. I had him on my fantasy team.
Let's see, man. Let's see what my dog doing.
I had that man on my fantasy team.
NBA. Let's go box score.
You know, at least with Wemby and
he is averaging
and Bam
14 points, 12 rebounds.
That's not good.
I don't feel like he scores 14 though. I don't know.
That's because it's just.
I mean, how's he getting those 14? He's not really a shot creator.
No,
he's
off
probably
rebounds and putbacks.
Rebounds and putbacks.
Yeah. A little lob threats off pick and rolls.
Mm-hmm.
Not nothing. Come on, man. And if you're not finishing games, how can you?
How can you get defensive player of the game or of the year?
Yeah, man. When these other, because like I said, at least Wemby and Bam, they are focal points on their team.
Right.
Bam. I think Bam averaged about 18 this year. Wemby was around 18, 19 this year. So they're focal points offensively and defensively. And I know it's just on one side, but it's like, come on, bruh.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. But let's get into some of these playoffs, though, man. What's your thoughts on the second round? I don't want to focus too much on the first round. Lakers lost. I'm disappointed.
Man, you and I both.
You know what I'm saying? Seeing Brian not in the playoffs, seeing just people like, you know, the Currys, you know, KDs, the Kawhis, the PGs, the James Hardens, the Westbrook. Real quick, do you feel like it's the end of an era? Like of what we are accustomed to seeing the prime faces in the NBA playoffs on the regular now.
I think so. I think our younger stars are starting to shine right now, and they see it. They see that opportunity. They know these older guys have been dominated for years, and they know that their time is now. And Anthony Edwards being one of those guys, who's really stepping into that spotlight and just being himself. Really, I was actually watching this and looking at this interview where they talked about how, you know, this is how KD's trend. Like this is the arc that KD went through, and you know he's a rising star. But then how the media kind of flips that at some point in time. Yeah. I know I'm getting to a whole different point. But his rise is meteor. How do you say that? Meteor, whatever.
Well,
but like,
which one? I've been saying a lot of stuff.
But he's having a great rise. I mean, guys like Luka. I mean, we can go down the line. Jalen Green, who's poised to be an all-star next year. Who else, man? It is. It's a whole
SGA,
era. It's actually sad to say that. I mean, it makes me feel old.
It does, because when you look at it, like LeBron's about to be 40.
Right.
KD is
37,
37, about to be 37, right? Curry's right there. Chris Paul. It's just all the guys that when we were children, legit kids, you feel me? High school in that realm is all on their way out.
Yeah.
It's all on their way out. And
we're getting older, man.
And these young dudes are sending them home.
Yeah.
Legitimately. And they ain't, you know, and they ain't doing it in a very like see you later fashion. It ain't even nice. It ain't like, oh, let's hang out. Nah, get y'all old ass up out of here.
Yeah.
As they should. As they should.
That's how they doing them. Like, hey,
it's like you gotta go.
You know, you show up to pick up and got all the old heads.
Yeah.
And they sit there trying to play one style, then all the young dudes show up, and it's just a run, and they just like, God.
Yeah, we got.
It's a young man's game. Yes, you know you old when you start saying it's a young man's game.
I'm already knowing, man. For real, I haven't played it in a minute.
That's when you got to start looking at your second act. That's when you need to start looking where you
start transitioning.
Commentating.
Anyway, man, let's get into some of these playoffs, man. Let's talk about what is some of the most standouts for you. For me, I feel like seeing these young folks like, you know, Brunson. You know, I knew Brunson was a solid player, but to see what he's doing, you know, 40-point games on a regular, and he making it look easy, and he's kind of like, you know, galvanizing his team to like, man, we here. You know what I'm saying? I know the Knicks is kind of, you know, getting hurt right now or dealing with injuries or whatever, but he is future in the making, man, because nobody saw Brunson on the horizon. Like, maybe Anthony Edwards, you saw a little bit. SGA, you saw a little bit. But Brunson is like the silent assassin. Don't really say too much.
I like that.
But he come out here and give you buckets. And when he on that court, he's trying to kill you. You can just see it in his face. He can have a bad quarter, and then in next fourth quarter, 5 minutes go on a tear of 12 points and make it look easy and get his guys going. And so what I've been impressed with is just seeing these young guys just being able to step to that moment and take that moment and run with it. Because, you saw a few people that was getting 40s back in the day. It wasn't like a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? It was like a few. But
that's a different game.
You're seeing a lot of folks scoring 40, 35.
Yeah.
Like,
I think the biggest thing with him, he found his confidence.
Yeah.
And I've heard so many times from league guys that they say, when you find your confidence in this league, it's really hard to stop. It's really hard to stop you. You get a lot of momentum, and he's obviously found that. You can tell by his shot selection. 40 feet from the basket, shooting his 3-ball. I even looked at a couple of his stats from Dallas. I mean,
that last year
wow.
at Dallas is where, to me, to your point, is where it took off. Because remember, he headed into that last year with the contract, right?
Right.
And if Dallas would have just gave him the money to start off the season instead of letting him play it out, so then when he play it out, now you see how him and Luka was like this. They got all the way to the conference finals.
Yeah.
And he was really, carrying and doing his thing. And now, the price went up after the season. And that's how he ended up going to New York and signing that deal. Right. So his 3-year run over these last 3 years, to me, has been quite amazing. You feel me? Like, honestly, Alton, you and him have a similar game.
You think so?
I do. Because, I was kind of chance to hoop with you over the last 3 years, too. And just... y'all games are similar as far as being like floor generals. Like, you the type, you can score, but you also want to get everybody involved. And then also for you being a smaller guard, you a dude who will go operate in the paint.
Yeah.
And not afraid to operate down there to create different buckets. So like I said, when I look at y'all games.
It wasn't always like that. I was a $130 growing up. And even in college, I was about $140.
Yeah. Okay. But I'm saying, but now you done got into your grown man body to where.
I'm a Carson space.
Exactly. You feel me? So,
no, you're right. I'll take that comparison.
Yeah, I would do it. I would, because I have to make it relative to what I say. Obviously, NBA and where you are, but I'm just saying the gameplay and the efficiency and how y'all kind of see the game and how you are as a basketball player in the mind. To me, I feel like you and Jalen Brunson kind of share that same mold. And like small guards, and we can do whatever the big guards can do. We just gonna do it a little differently.
Yeah, I also like his leadership style too.
Yeah.
He's a rock. Like, he's steady. He's never too high, never too low.
Facts.
Speaking confidence into his team, always keeping his team. We nudging people. Hey, let's get back on track.
Yep.
So I think that he plays a huge part in their success with that, both on and off the court. It's dope to see.
I just think that they are just running out of people.
Yeah.
Which is their downfall. New York.
Yeah.
I just feel like they're like you already walk into the playoffs without Julius Randle. And then you got Brunson playing 41 minutes. Josh Hart went to the bench for the first time in 3 games yesterday.
He needed to.
That man played 40
boards.
48 minutes for 3 straight games. And yesterday was the first time he had a breather in a back. I just don't think that you can play like that consistently for a duration of a playoff run.
So do you think they lose to Indiana?
I think so. Unfortunately.
You think so?
Because they just lost OG. So you done lost Randall, you done lost OG, you done lost Bogdanovich, you just done lost Mitchell Robinson. That's 4 people to a team who rotation was already short.
Yeah.
So you're saying they can't sustain this. They won't be able to sustain this. They won't last the series.
No. You playing 6 people?
Space. Yeah,
6, maybe 7 people, and the quality.
I mean, yesterday they should have. I mean, wouldn't say should have. Well, they missed a lot of free throws. They left a lot of money on the table, and you know, Neymar hits one of those shots. You just like, hey man, you know, ain't nothing you can do about that. It was a last second shot clock, 0.3 seconds. Step back, fumbled the basketball, threw it up as a prayer. He didn't think he was gonna go in. You know what I mean?
You saw Halliburton face.
Yeah, it was like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying?
That's a muscle memory shot right there.
You know what I mean? So we had a little luck on their side because if he missed that shot, you never know. We may be talking New York 3-0 this morning. You know what I'm saying? With all the injuries, with all the challenges, I think New York has enough to beat Indiana. They're going to get it together. I think yesterday it was a hard-fought game. Could have went either way. Brunson wasn't having his best game. He left a lot of money on the table at the free throw line. I know he's dealing with his own injury.
That's my point.
No, I definitely hear you. But I think they'll have enough to beat Indiana because Indiana is one of those teams where they can beat anybody when they play the way they love to play, up and down, fast pace, get open transition threes, and attack. But if they threes ain't falling, man, they struggle. They struggle a lot. And I think yesterday was a lot to do with New York, you know, fumbling the bag in clutch situations, leaving too much money on the table. And when you leave too much money on the table, they had a chance to put that team away. So I wouldn't be surprised if Indiana wins because of that. But I'm still going to go New York in 6. I think New York wins in 6.
I got New York, too.
Yeah, I guess I got Indiana in 6. I feel like Indiana's about to run off the next 4, in my humble opinion.
Okay. Hey, we're going to find out. Yeah. Man, on to the Boston and Cavaliers, man. Look, man, I'm going to keep saying this about Boston. I don't think they for real. Because I'm just being honest. Because to be a championship team or to be a contender, like when you have a team where you should be dominating, you know what I mean? They made it look so easy game 1 to come back and it's not, I can understand. You lose a close game at the crib, but to get dog walked at the crib, just to get beat like they got beat, it's like they don't know if they want to have heart or if they want to play with energy and that intensity, like we want to win this year, or they just want to be like, we got it. It's like they playing with their food, like they disrespected Miami. Like thought it was gonna be, and then Miami ended up going 3-0 on them, and they almost came back, and they thought they had enough talent to come back, and then they got ran at their crib. Yeah. They keep playing with their food. Keep disrespecting these teams. They're gonna be going home again.
I'm gonna respectfully disagree. Because I feel like this is the same, I look at it as the same story they had in round 1, right? They came out, slapped Miami game 1. Game 2, Miami came back. They didn't beat them by 25, but Miami dominated game 2. And then what did Boston do the next 3 games? Beat them by 30+. The next 3, like, just got rid of them. So I'm going to say Boston is just going to be a repeat offender of, all right, y'all took game 2, but we're going to hone in and get rid of y'all in the next 3. This will be over in 5. Don't worry. Don't worry about it, babe.
You know what? I think Boston will win this series, but I think they keep playing with their food. It's going to end up biting them in the ass. I ain't going to hold you, dog. Like, they have all the talent to be putting these games away. If, like, when you want to prove something, because you got to think about it, man. You lost at your own crib last year. You beat a damaging Miami team. They didn't have their best player on the floor. And of course, they shouldn't even got 1 game. You gave them 1, and you gave them 1 on your crib. Yeah. Now, you Cleveland, they don't have no injuries. They can beat you.
They got Jared Allen missing.
I mean, but they still got their core. They still got their core. They can beat you. When you give a team confidence.
They can't beat them.
All right.
You saw them struggle against Orlando.
Hey,
I think we all know Boston's going to win that series, but like I think you said something real interesting. You said you gave them 1 at home.
Yeah.
Right. So in a series, I feel like they're playing chess. I feel like they can give away 1 at home. I think they tried to climb their way back into that game. I think Mitchell went out there and did his thing, but it really shut him out. But, to some degree, you got to just say, well, let's let this game go for right now. Let's come back and let's start our first quarter off better than we did this last quarter.
I hear you.
You know what I mean?
I honestly don't. Boston has 0 fear in the East right now.
They don't.
They have 0.
They're their only fear.
They're their only fear.
But when you keep playing with your food.
Yeah. But
I'm telling you, man. That's you play with the NBA. You play with them, they'll get you back.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I've
seen it before.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There's nobody that they have to fear to where it's like, even they can. I feel like this is one of those situations they can play with their food, and unfortunately, they're going to get away with it because they're not running into a healthy Milwaukee. They're not running into a healthy Philly. They're better than Boston. I mean, they're better than New York. Even if they're going to be better than New York because New York can't sustain that. They're going to be better than Indiana because I feel like they're too young. And then Cleveland don't have enough. So when I'm looking at these three teams, they're going to win those series. How they win it, we may not like it, but they're going to the
That's
finals.
a good point.
They're going to be there, and then when it gets to the West, it's going to be like now.
But see, here's the thing: we always talk about the now, the turn on that switch.
But no, I'm saying, but that when I to your point, you gonna sit there and get through the East without being fully prepared to know what you about to run into the West. So then when you play against the West, they gonna get your ass up out of here.
I think they know. See, here's my thing though, and this is the problem that I have with Boston. If you know you have the advantage and you know you're the better team because of just the circumstances in the matchups, you got the better matchups. Put these teams away, be healthy, and be ready for whoever's about to come out that West, because whoever's gonna come out the West is gonna give you their best punch. And if you practice these bad habits, these bad habits will get your ass out of here.
Exactly. And
that's point blank period.
And that is my point. Because of the bad habits, your bad habits going to allow you to get through the East. Because ain't nobody over that you have to fear. But your bad habits will get your ass.
Is it a matter of bad habits? Not to cut you off.
Yeah.
Is it a matter of bad habits, or is it all a part of a plan to just survive the next round, make it past the next round, and have composure while you're doing it? Is it a bad habit, or is it a part of a plan?
Here's my thing. When you say part of a plan, I don't think you go in there as like, all right, we cool, we lose a game. Because you got to think about all the championship teams for the most part. Like, even when you had Denver Nuggets last year, they was on the tear. You knew that they was a force to be reckoned with. Even though, nobody thought that they would go all the way. They thought, the Lakers probably give them the best shot, but they end up beating the Lakers, sweeping them, dude.
Get about it.
And then they go to the finals. You know what I'm saying? They lost one game. And then they end up winning the next three, and it was a wrap after that. And so it's a mentality thing for me for Boston. It's not that they can't do it. It's the mentality that, like, bro, like, why y'all keep playing? Why y'all keep coming out there pussyfooting, nigga? Like, you know what I'm saying? Just keep it a beat. Like, why y'all pussyfooting, man?
I see
like, even when the Nuggets lost, they was out there still trying, you know what I'm saying? And they just got beat that day. Yeah. But to come out here and pussyfoot it and just be like, we good. We got it.
And Alton, the only point that I would say no, that they can't get away with that, is because they have shown this before just last year when they was the odds-on favorite. But they ran into a Miami team that was like, oh, no, we here.
Right.
You feel me? And because Miami had built their momentum. So I don't think a team like Boston can afford to sit there and play chess. Now, y'all need to be playing checkers. Y'all need to be focused on the right now and getting right now, because it's not going to just to me, they're not good enough mentally to turn that switch and be like, all right, we're in the finals, let's go to work.
Right.
Nah, because I feel like their superstar crumbles when these lights start to get even brighter. When we're saying, here, Jason Tatum, lead us. Tatum be like, all right, but I really don't want to. Because you saw it in the finals. In the finals, if Jason Tatum would have did Jason Tatum numbers the way JB was playing, they beat the Warriors.
Yeah.
But because Jason Tatum didn't hold up his end of the bargain while Jaylen Brown did his part, that's why they lose in the finals. And then you look at last year in the playoffs. It became, now Jaylen Brown wasn't stepping up because they kept forcing him to his left, and he got exposed. Jason Tatum didn't step up. Now you down 3-0. Now y'all playing desperate basketball. And what happens? Because you playing desperate for 4 games, it's a war of attrition.
Yeah.
Now you running out of steam because you can't maintain all that.
Can't play with your
War
food.
of attrition.
Yeah.
Wow. I think they can afford to play chess.
Okay.
I could be very wrong on that.
So you saying they can afford to play chess to the finals?
Well, no. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, you said to
I'm
the
just saying
finals?
to the finals.
When I say playing chess, it's like, okay, there's like an opening game, there's a middle game, and there's an end game.
Okay.
Right. So like they're in, like, I would say they're in the middle game right now.
Okay.
So they can there's an overall strategy, but then there's like these small tactics, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I think that tactically, I think you can give a game away, like you mentioned.
Right.
You can give a game away. That doesn't mean you don't go into the next game. Again, like I said, that doesn't mean you don't go into that next game and punch him in the face in the first quarter.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So like that's like.
So you saying if early you see that it ain't popping, it's
Right.
like, all right, you know what? This ain't us tonight. We're gonna get through it. Hopefully nobody gets hurt. Whatever the case is, get through it.
Play defense.
Play defense. Do enough. But the next game is like, all right, we
know how to come out.
We know how to come out.
We know what we need to do for the first 7 minutes of the game.
Get this over with.
Yeah. We know what we need to deliver.
No, I hear you. I think Boston will have enough to win. But don't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they find themselves in a situation where it's like they got to play desperate because, again, when you overlook an opponent, and again, Miami, they shouldn't even got one. That's just that. I don't care if we playing chess. When I'm playing against the dudes, if you playing hoop, you got a team that should be dominate them, get them out the way, cool.
Yeah.
But when you got a team that don't have their best player, and I get it, Miami has a culture and they're gonna play hard, but to have them get that one game in the way they get it on your court, I understand they win at home. They won at your crib, and Miami just didn't have enough to sustain that. Imagine if Jimmy Butler was there. We may be talking about Miami again in the second round.
But I think to Alton's point, they have a different approach, which is unfortunate. I feel like your approach needs to be the same all the time.
Yeah.
Whoever on the court, whoever out on the court, kill to be killed, get rid of people. But I mean, it's Boston, man.
Yeah.
This is what they do. This is what they do.
Anyway, man. But I still got them. I got them in 6 though. I think they win in 6.
I got them in 5.
Who you got? What you got them in?
I got Boston in 5.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I got Boston in 5.
All right. We're going to find out. Now, moving to the West, man.
West Coast. It's up. We outside.
Yeah, it is up. To see SGA and the Mavericks series has been a good series. I ain't going to hold you. There's been some good basketball going on. I kind of thought Mavericks had the advantage, and I still think they have the advantage once they play the way they played, game 2. But I do see this going 6. I think it's either way. You don't know who's going to show up for either team. You know what I mean? You got SGA got to do a lot. He's got to do a lot. He's going to need some help and some consistent help if they want to have a chance to win this series.
Before the series started, I had Mavericks in 6. I'm not going to move from what I believe. I think that I just like what Luka and Kai got going on. I like the pieces that the Mavericks have. I think, to your point, SGA needs, but even though J-Dub, he's hooping. I like Jalen Williams, but they don't. What they lack and what they got to go find is like a 6-man. They need a legitimate Malik Monk, Naz Reid. They need a guy that when he come off the bench,
he give you some buckets.
He gonna go get buckets.
Yeah,
and once they get that guy. OKC is going to be a huge problem because their starting 5 is very complementary to one another, but all they bench guys are the same role players. Nobody is like, And I think when you look at teams that win championships, they all have that extra guy. Denver last year with a Bruce Brown. When you look at the Lakers when they won their championship, I think Rondo was coming off the bench.
Yeah.
So you need a guy that can help that bench, and that's what elevates you to the next level. And I think with the Mavericks, I just think they got all the pieces of the puzzle right now. Kai had a bad game and they still won.
Yeah,
we still ain't really seen a Luka Kai game.
Yeah,
if you look at even the Clippers series, it was like when they was winning, it was either or.
Yeah,
even when they was losing. So the mere fact that you can get a Luka Kai game where Kai go for 30 and then Luka hit you with a 25-point triple-double.
Right.
That's going to be real scary. So, like I said, I got the Mavericks in 6, and, that's what I had before the series started.
How you got this all?
Got Mavs in 7.
Ooh.
You think it's going 7?
I don't think they can win in 7, man. I don't think they can go to OKC and win in 7.
Why you say 7?
I just think that I think OKC is a tough place to play. What's the series? It's
1-1.
Right. 1-1 going to Dallas.
Who's the top seed on that one?
OKC.
So game 7 to be in OKC.
Yeah.
You think they steal a game in Dallas?
I think they steal a game in Dallas.
Ooh.
Yep.
You know what? I say 6, but here's the thing. And
which way?
I got Dallas in 6.
Okay.
But here's the thing with and I agree with you reasons. OKC is missing a veteran player like that one. They got Hayward, but Hayward, he just said he's not providing that veteranship that
I don't even think he played in the last game.
But he's not. They need somebody that can come out and get them the points and give them that composure and that poise to be like, hey guys, we good. Like we can take their best punch, but let's fight back. You know what I'm saying? And I think they're missing that. They got a lot of youth. And sometimes with youth, it's good because they go balls to the wall, pause, where they just go in, they just playing, they hooping. They not getting caught up in all that stuff.
Yeah.
But what happens when you get into young-minded basketball players is when the pressure moments come, when you need a bucket and then you take a wild, crazy shot where that's not a good possession and every possession counts. And that's what I see with OKC is when clutch situations, they take bad shots when you could have got a better shot. And in their mind, they just, hey, I've been doing this. This was work. This was got me up to number 1 seed. And that is what's going to be their downfall. And that's where veteranship can come in. Hey, I get it. Yeah. That was a good shot, but let's get a better shot. Let's get a great shot. Let's get a higher percentage shot where we know, hey, we can live with those results. Instead of a step back, hand in the face, hey, in your mind, that's your shot. But that's not the shot we need right now. And I think that's what's going to hurt OKC. That's what Dallas have. They have veteranships. They have people that has won championships. They have a championship coach. They have a championship mind and a pedigree, and they're locked in. So they know when they need to turn it on and take better shots and make better choices, they're going to do that. OKC is not there yet, and that's going to be their downfall in this series for me.
I like that. All points that you gave is spot on, just because, like I said, when you look at it, Luka's going to stabilize it. Luka's going to get a Luka shot. Yeah. It may not seem like the right one, but at the end of the day, I'm looking at Luka like he just does what he does. And then when you got Kai, Kai's a magician. Yeah. You feel me? And again, he didn't even play well last night, and they won. Yeah. So, and like all the compliments, like Tim Hardaway went nuts yesterday. Yeah. He had a streak where he scored 12 straight points by himself.
Yeah, but what's the name? Put up 25 too.
PJ. PJ put up 25, hit 7 threes. Yeah. So it's just like they have a lot of auxiliary pieces that is complementing their superstars, which is going to make it tough on OKC because OKC auxiliary pieces, again, have to rise up to that moment and be consistent in those moments and not when it's going good. Because in game 1, the ball movement, it's energy, bop, bop, they making shots. But in game 2, when them shots wasn't falling, it's like everybody got a little tight. Yeah. Everybody wasn't as confident in shooting that open shot because now it's like, I have to make it versus when you up 10 and you shoot that 3. If I miss it, we down 10. I mean, we still up 10. Yep. But now we go up 13. But in this situation, we down 7. I got to make this one. That pressure a little different.
Man, to the last series, man. First, before we even talk about the series, I want to talk about Anthony Edwards' comments because you already been getting the Kobe and the Jordan comparison. Yeah. It's been happening, and rightfully so. He's been balling. But he did an interview and he said, "Hey, man, I don't like when y'all compare me to MJ. I'm me. I feel like I'm the best player to ever play this game." And the crazy part about it is some people took that as a slight, like he disrespect. I'm like, why do we gotta look? I get it. In the world we live in, we need to put people in a context in these boxes to make us feel like, all right, cool. Why can't they be who they are? Like he can have complimentary things that remind you of Jordan and Kobe, but why they gotta be the next? Why they can't just be the Anthony Edwards or the LeBron or whoever it is, the Jalen Brown? Why do we always gotta say they're the next this? It's like we can't let those other greats go.
Yeah, and it's for the players. Like I think Anthony Edwards is doing a great job of navigating media and kind of defining himself and saying, "Hey, this is who I am. I'm not this guy, not that guy." And he'll pay respect to all those guys. But that's what makes this game interesting. Those comparisons, because you got to think when you're a high school player and you're working your way up through and you're navigating through this game. You have to tell some coaches and some scouts will actually do this for you. They'll say his game, he plays kind of like this, right? He's like this guy. And so when you're a coach, you're like, okay, so I know what to do with that information. So it's good. It's like you get those comparisons and it's good until you get to a space a rare area that Anthony Edwards is in. And then that's when you kind of get to, hey, I'm not any of those guys anymore. Stop comparing me to anybody. I'm really who I am. Yeah. You kind of find your own identity.
Because he said it because he's like, Michael Jordan is the greatest to ever do it. So don't sit there and give me those kind of expectations. Like, let me define what my expectations are. Because when you start placing expectations, then that's when the pressure mounts. But we also all know that once you become that elevated person, then everybody looking at you like it's all about championships now. Like, because we can see your individual skill set and what you can do, but can that translate into you being a winner and leading your team to a chip.
Yeah.
So it's like those comparisons to me start becoming is what's that next step? Because the ability we can tell, but now do you elevate?
Right.
Like, do you take this Minnesota team to a heights like
And
Jordan
he's doing
took
it
that
right
Bulls
now.
team? Yeah, and
He's
that's
doing
it.
it right
So
now.
talk about that. Do you feel like he's going to take the team over and be able to beat the Denver Nuggets in this series?
That's tough. That's a bold declaration, but yes.
You think so?
Yes.
Why you think so?
Well, okay. I want him to.
There we go.
I want him to.
I need more conviction. He was skating around it. I need the conviction.
I want him to because, I just really want to. I'm pulling for him to do that. What was your question again? My fault.
You said, do you believe?
Like he's getting the Timberwolves to that next level where he's helping his team?
Because he's like the Jalen Brunson guy, in terms of leadership. He's only 22 years old. That's what blows my mind. Speaking life into his team, being a rock, being himself, and being comfortable with who he is, and then just kind of allowing that to be contagious across his team. I think he'll do it for a long time.
Like I said, just to the point of his interview after this loss, he was like, "I got to be better. Like, I didn't come out with the right energy. I didn't come out aggressive. That's on me. I'm gonna take that." And that's the Jordan mentality. That's the Kobe's. That's the LeBrons. That's the when you start seeing that next guy and the ownership of, okay, we lost as a team, but we know where the show starts and stops at.
Yeah.
And if I'm not who I need to be for my team,
It's going to impact everybody else.
It's going to impact everybody else. So I know I got to be better. And just by him saying it, like I said, I had the Timberwolves winning the series before it started, just because I just felt like the Nuggets struggled with the Lakers. I don't care what anybody say. They struggled with the Lakers.
Yes.
And that struggle, to me, you weren't going to get away with that with the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
Because the Timberwolves have enough defensive pieces, offensive pieces to make sure that don't happen. And the crazy thing I'm gonna throw at y'all is I seen something and I had to go back and really look. This Timberwolves team is a direct comparison, not as far as what's going to happen to the Laker team of 2009. When you look at the point guard situation with the vet and Conley and the vet and Vischer, the two guard situation with the superstar and Anthony Edwards and the superstar and Kobe. Ariza is basically Jalen McDaniels. Karl Anthony Towns is basically Powell. Rudy Gobert is basically Bynum. Naz Reid is Odom. Nickeil Alexander-Walker is Shannon Brown. Jordan Farmar is Monte Morris. Just as the comparisons,
I feel it.
just, hey,
I feel it. I hear
real
it.
basketball.
I hear
I'm
you.
real basketball. So that team went and won ships, and because that team had been together, and all those pieces are complementary pieces to one another to help elevate to where that team's going to be very good.
That was a heck of an analysis. I just gotta say,
Hey,
Here's my
he
thing,
went down
though.
the roster.
hey,
Not so.
Come on,
What's
man.
my boy?
Come on, man.
What's my boy? Lee Corso. What was the one to do the college football?
Yeah, Lee Corso.
Not so fast, my friend. I get it. Minnesota has been, playing unbelievable basketball. I did not see them beating Denver Nuggets twice in Denver. But one thing that I saw last night, and I get it, I know AE said all the right things, and he said he's going to play better, and it's going to be a tough game, and they're going to do what they can to get the dub. What I saw is that, and this is where the young-minded and then championship pedigree differentiates between the two. They allowed Denver Nuggets to get that groove back. It looked so easy yesterday.
it did.
And I was like, okay, maybe Denver can win a close. It wasn't even close. It's when it was like 12 minutes, when it was like 10 minutes, that was how close it got, and then it just got out of hand. And I knew the game was going to be different by the intensity that they played with, the swagger that they had, the way they was running around complaining, all this total different basketball. And see, here's my thing. When you got a champion down, you don't get that champion life.
Give him life.
Because once they get it life, they snap into a zone, and I saw Denver snap into that zone where, like, bet. Y'all thought it was over. Everybody counting us out now. They going back into Denver basketball. Because what gave Denver light last year? people overlooking them. People saying, oh, they going to lose to the Lakers. Oh, they all right, but they're going to wait till they play these teams. Wait till they play this team. That turns their trigger on where they like, bet. That was the first time I saw Denver play Denver basketball for 4 quarters. Yeah. Where every time the Minnesota put on a run, yeah, bet. We're going to get back another 20. Ooh. And that is why I think Minnesota is in trouble. See, you don't give champions life. If they steal a game and they beat you by 1, cool. But you gave them their swagger back. They feel like they're going to dominate game 4. Because it was too easy. It's one thing.
Oh, you sound like Wesley Snipes from White Man Can't Jump.
No, it was too easy, bro. It was too easy yesterday. Not one moment that I thought Minnesota was going to ever get back in that game. It didn't matter if Anthony Edwards put on some heroic performance to get it to 10 to 15. It was going to 20 every time. And this is why when you are a young team, you got to put your foot on their neck.
And see, but that's where I would say it works opposite. The young team responds better from the ass whooping than the close game. Because the close game, it keeps that mindset like, man, we was right there and we just couldn't finish. The ass whooping is like, all right, we know we can't come out here and play around. We can't. We got to make sure, because it's the champ, right? This is a championship team,
right? So
because it's the champ, our energy has to be the same thing. And when you got a young team, sometimes you need that little A, because they didn't get tested in the Phoenix series.
No,
they didn't have that moment in Phoenix series. 4-0 them, got them up out of here. Now and then they won the next 2, so they didn't won 6 straight. So you on this swagger like, who can really touch us? Because then they go back to you win 2 in Denver. You go back to the crib. You get a little relaxed. You feel me? Your intensity and because they dominated Denver in game 2. Like game 1 they won. Game 2 it was kind of what Denver did to them. They had Jamal Murray out there looking like all Murray, no Jamal, just all. No, just he lost the whole front part of his name. Right. And so I feel like them losing the way that they did was the wake-up call that they needed, because, they start putting on Twitter Law and Order between Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Jaden McDaniels. You feel me? And so I just think that their intensity level is going to be a lot higher. They're going to come out with the right focus, the right aggression. And I think KCP going to have a long night Sunday, or a long day.
Wow.
Because Anthony Edwards is about to go on one of those games. Just put it out there.
He will, but I just don't think they'll take the series. I want him to.
Yeah, I think it's gonna go 7. I think Denver's about to beat them on their home court. No, I'm being honest.
Crazy.
And it's because of yesterday, man. Like, even if you get blown out, or if you lose a game, maybe like 15-20, and it's a competitive game, you let that team get life.
A competitive 15-20 point.
No, I'm saying,
that's
like,
crazy.
No, you know what I mean? Like, it goes 15, goes to 6, then go back to 15.
Oh, okay.
It never got back to single digits.
No, it didn't.
It was like, we got it 23, 30. and that's what I'm saying is
kept
that
them at bay.
The Denver Nuggets got their swagger back. And now they going in there, Minnesota's going to come in there and play their ass off.
Yeah.
But now Denver's feeling like, we the best team.
Okay.
We about to show the world, because everybody doubted us. This is what Denver get. They like.
They ain't being doubted.
No. Everybody said the series over. A lot of people was like, bro, it's over.
Is.
Nah, I think Denver's going to win in 7.
Minnesota in 6.
Nah, I don't think. I think so. We're going to find out. I love what Anthony Edwards is doing. But I think what they're going to do and what they did yesterday is they're starting to wall up the paint and make him a jump shooter. And they can live with him in jumpers. They know his bread and butter is attacking. When he gets the attack, he gets that rhythm. Denver was walling. You can see all 4. And if your other guys, and this is what's going to help, this is going to determine factor. Minnesota didn't hit no threes like that yesterday.
Yeah.
So that made Minnesota average. That made Anthony Edwards try to do more than he has to do, to exert his energy. And Denver was like, cool. Y'all others ain't playing well. And that was the defining factor.
But also the offset is they kept playing against a set defense. It's hard to score on a set defense. You look at the playoffs. I was watching Paul George's podcast P last night, because we was talking about them losing to the Mavericks. and them having to always consistently play against a set defense. Minnesota defense in games 1 and 2 created havoc to where they was running and gunning, and they was able to play in transition and semi-transition to allow Anthony Edwards to be able to attack. Yesterday, because they was getting buckets scored on them, they had to consistently play against a set defense.
And they gave up buckets.
And they was giving up buckets.
Because they missed a lot of shots.
And so then when you taking long shots and long rebounds, now Denver is playing in transition, and now they getting transition threes. So a lot of this is about whose style can be inflicted on them most. Minnesota knows you're not about to just beat a set Denver defensive team, because they're good at what they doing. On top of, you got a Rudy Gobert that's out there that they ain't really worried about. You feel me? McDaniels can score, but he's more of a 3-and-D guy. You feel me? So their offense goes through Ant and Cat, and then we look at Cat like, yeah, you can shoot, but god damn, if you would just go post up and go get those buckets. So Minnesota has to play great defense. Their great defense allowed them to play in transition, to allow them to attack, to get open threes, and that's what I feel like they're going to do. I think they're going to lock back up in game 4, and then we're going to do it.
It sounds easy to say. I don't know. I got Denver in 7.
I'm pulling for the Wolves.
Hey, I feel you. There's nothing to pull for the Wolves, but sometimes that Wolf can get got. You know what I'm saying? Because the Nuggets going to hunt them. They
about to be a 30-piece extra barbecue.
Anyway, man, we got our brother in the building.
Yeah, man.
It's around the corner.
Yeah.
What is it, a month away? 2 months?
About 40 some odd days out.
40 some odd days out to the biggest, livest, greatest spectacle of hoops
in
the Fresno district.
High level hoops. Big names.
Summertime.
Biggest hoop stage in summer hoops in Fresno. So it's going down.
So let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about this is year 3, right?
Year 3.
Season 3.
Season 3.
Yes, sir.
So how'd you feel about, getting into season 3, man? What could we expect from season 3 of Fresno ProAm?
You can expect to see lots of good matchups. You can expect to see lots of good matchups. Right now, actually, we just sent out. We responded to all the talent applications that came in. We looked at around 120 to 30 applications. This has been a week-long process. So we're reaching out to everybody and figuring out what those rosters look like.
Okay.
But lots of great talent. Lots of height, lots more height. We got a couple 7-footers.
7-footers.
That's good.
We got a National JUCO Basketball Player of the Year that's going to be playing this summer. So real excited. I don't want to name drop. I don't want to name.
He want to, but he don't.
I do, but I don't.
Hey, I understand. It's gonna look good. I'm telling you, it's gonna look a good summer.
So yeah, it's exciting, man.
So for some people who may not know, what's the process of getting on a team, playing? Like, how if I'm a young up and coming basketball superstar or just a hooper, and I want to play, I want to be a part of this, man, because I see where this is going. What's that process look like for a player who wants to get on the team?
It's a simple. We want to make that process real simple. Okay. Our main job is to make it easy for the best talent to play their best basketball during those 7 weeks of their year. Yeah. That's all we want to optimize all this for. And so, if you're a great talent, reach out. We have a talent application. It should probably only take you about 1 to 2 minutes to drop that in.
Yep, it does. I feel it out.
I designed it.
It's a quick process.
Yeah, it's a quick process. It's designed that way. So, and then we go ahead and process it, take a look at it, and then kind of match you up and get you on that floor. Ultimately, guys want minutes, So
is it a guarantee? So if I applied, is it a guarantee I get to be put on the team, or
it's not a guarantee? And I've said this time and time again, but it's not a glorified rec league. You know what I'm saying? In the sense that we want the best talent, and we want folks that are focused on this game and play the game for the right reasons and playing the game at a high level. That's essentially what we're looking for.
That's dope.
And not only that, we're also with the coaches as well. So I want to be able to look over to my coaches and see them as leaders on the floor in this program, because I just I really know who's watching this league. It's growing in importance. It's growing in significance. It means more to the city of Fresno.
No,
now.
it does.
You know what I mean?
Does.
So and then everything falls on if it's good, it looks good. Like Alton, great job, right? But it also goes the other way around as well. So every single small decision has to be really vetted and and taken care of.
No, that's real. No, that's 100%. 100%. So I gotta ask, because last year the All-Star game was a big thing. You know, a lot of people came out. You had Fresno ProAm versus Quincy Pondexter All-Star game. Could fans see something like that potentially in the future? I know it's probably too early to tell right now, but could they see another potential All-Star game after, like, the day of the championships this year?
Yeah, we're going to call it like an exhibition game.
Okay.
More so an exhibition game. There's some NCAA things that they're like, hey, don't call it an All-Star game.
Okay.
So we'll look at that, but you can definitely expect to see some high-level guys. You know, we're in conversations with Jalen Green and his camp. He wants to bring a lot of his NBA guys down here. So
That'd be dope.
he's done it before.
That'd be dope.
You know what I mean? So he wants to do this in a different environment and compete at a high level.
No, that's dope. That's dope. 100%. Because I feel like where this is going to be a staple.
Yes.
It's going to be a staple like the Drew Leagues. It's going to be the staple like, you know, Seattle ProAm. It's going to be a staple like those big-time leagues, and it's only going to get better. As you can see the traction of people coming, wanting to play. You know what I mean? I know probably the first year it was probably, you know, challenging to get players because, you know, everybody like, oh, what's this? What's this about to be? They got this.
It definitely was.
They got the experience shit for the first time, and they was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Then you see the second season, it's starting to get traction. People are like, hey, man, you need to go, you know, do this and go show out and go hoop. This is where you can get some good competition, good run, good preparation for the next season, up and coming. And then you got this third season, man. You know, they always say the trilogies are the ones.
Trilogies are the ones. And, you know, we saw a glimpse of what season 3 could look like, on that last week of season 2. When we saw that gym with 2,200, 2,300 people in the gym, lined up along the baseline, walls sweating, standing room only, which is a good problem.
No, that's good.
You know, we don't want the fire marshals out there, but we definitely want a good problem. We want to be able to say we have to turn some people away because we want that good problem. So, and I've heard that feedback. You know, the intimacy of that gym. Some people say it's better watching basketball there with a full crowd than it is at Save Mart Center.
It is.
I've heard that
because Save Mart Center is a big place.
Right.
So if you're not packing that out and filling that up to the 20,000, I think it hold about 18-some thousand.
Yeah.
If you're not filling that up to that capacity, it ain't gonna hit the same.
Right.
But you know that small gym, you feel me? It's a nice gym. You know, when you get that kind of capacity, you get that kind of energy, it just allows for basketball to become fun. And as players, as kids, you always want to play in front of people because you embrace the moment. We know what energy does. And energy is real. So when you playing in that, you're going to see people rise to that energy. Yeah. And you're going to see people wilt because not everybody's built to be under that light and under that shine. And that's what makes this a beautiful thing too, is because, like I said, I done been around for it leading into year 3 and just looking at the progression and all that. And you can just see the players are starting to really buy into it. And everybody's starting to like, okay, like this is something serious. It ain't just where Alton started at the Clovis Rec and we in there hooping. Because that was fun.
Yeah. That was fun.
That was fun.
That was really fun.
Those are fun runs. And even year 1 was fun. But you saw year 2, the competitiveness amplified.
The ante is going up.
It was crazy just watching year 2 and being in year 2 and immersed in year 2 and just watch the competitive spirit. And then the beauty, and I love to talk about this, is how we can watch 7 weeks of high competitive basketball with no extra. Like dudes showed up and just hoop competitively. It was a lot of shit talking going on, but nothing left those lines. Yeah. Nothing went further. And it's not like it's a whole bunch of police officers walking around maintaining order. Right. It was grown men, young men, all maintaining order of themselves, and to me, showing that respect for Alton to making sure we continue in a good product. And so, like, to me, that's one of the beauties that I love about it is just being able to watch a competitive basketball game, everybody shake hands.
Absolutely.
And everybody go home.
Basketball, we're keeping the main thing.
Facts.
We've been offered like, hey, can we do a vendor fair? Can we do different things? And you know, those things, or farmer's market. Yeah, you know, I see the value in those things. But I also think it takes away from the game. Right. And everything is optimized to just watch the best basketball you can watch in those 7 weeks. during the year. But to your point, man, like that picture that we used for the season 3 promo, and you can see Kadar and you can see Nate Kendricks kind of just like going face to face, almost chest to chest. But then what you also can see are guys separating them. And actually in the color, we washed the color out, so it's only one color. But when you see the colored one, it's actually guys from opposite teams holding the opposite guys, if that makes sense. So it wasn't just guys like, hey, I'm gonna make sure my guy is okay. I'm actually gonna make sure your team is okay. It's guys looking at that. And then if you look at who those people were, right? We had Brian Duckworth, who's an OG in this game. He's done a lot for this game, still doing a lot for this game. He's one of those guys that'll step in and say, "Hold on, man, let's keep it hoop. You know what I mean?" And then not to mention, it's this optimized for high performance. We're gonna have our own coverage from Fox 26. They're gonna come out. They're gonna do stories every single weekend.
That's awesome.
So some of the biggest highlights, the biggest stories that are gonna be happening in the Fresno ProAm are gonna be highlighted.
That's dope.
And so when you think about that, just that alone, is that the best place to start a fight? Is that the best place to resolve a conflict?
Nah.
You just don't want to put yourself in that position.
Nah.
You just don't.
You become a problem because now everybody looking at you like, dang, everything going on, and then all the eyes are on you too.
Yeah.
Why would you want that kind? That's bad pub.
It's bad pub. It's bad pub, and just play basketball, play it at a high level, and then we're just gonna keep growing, and it's only to your benefit as a player to just go out there and make sure you're ready.
Yeah, because like you said, this year feels like it's going to be a big year. A big year as far as like a leap year and where this goes for futures years to come, man. And the level of competition is getting better and getting more intense. I'm not saying it wasn't better, but just saying it's getting more intense. Now it's going to be like, you better come ready to play. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have coverage. We got people coming out here. More people, more bodies is going to be in the arena. We got players that's competitive, that wants to win. We got some big time players coming to play. We got potential, NBA stars that we're working on trying to get for the exhibition game. So it's an opportunity to highlight your skill. And the last thing you want to do is mess up an opportunity where you can highlight your skill and your ability. Because at the end of the day, when you think of hoop is out there supposed to compete, have fun, and get some exercise at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
It's like cardio.
Yeah, you're going to be a winner and loser, but at the end of the day, man, it's out there to enjoy and compete in a sport that you love and you appreciate, man. So, and then you're doing something for the community, man.
Absolutely.
And that's the beauty that I appreciate about Fresno ProAm is what you're doing for the community, because we didn't have like a lot of stuff like this, man. And to have something like this for the third year, that's a testament on your work and your team's work and your ability to continue to, how can I make this better? How can I improve on this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I'm nothing without my team. I'm nothing without my brothers, my family. Huge support system. They're like, Alton, we got your back, and we're in the trenches. We spent all day. We spent about 2 to 3 hours looking over those applications, and then we actually spent we've been meeting since second week of February, twice a week. We've been real regiment, like we have a regiment that we go through, and it's just to make sure that the integrity of the league was withheld, and that when we go into that gym, we know we put the work in, so we can speak from a certain place and it's being upheld. But yeah, man, the community is huge. Like, so many different eyeballs are on it now. There's other basketball communities across the country that are paying attention to it now.
That's dope.
We're getting invites to different basketball communities, so a travel team may not be too far of a stretch in the near future. That'll be fun.
No ProAm
I can't
travel
wait.
team, bro.
ProAm travel team.
Like an AAU vibes.
Hey, trying to get to the Rucker. You just think about it, man. That's a future type thing, but the vision of a Fresno team packing up and going to the Rucker, that'd be that just for the city in itself and some of the kids that have come from this, and you feel me? Because when you think of the Rucker and Fresno, the only thing you got synonymous right now is Rayford Alston, because he played for Fresno State and he was a New York guy, but to know that the league is reaching a point of positive eyeballs, and people are reaching out to put together a team that can travel of any type of sort, like that right there gonna be monumental and big just for the city.
Right.
Because now the city's gonna gain traction in a more positive way. Because Fresno as a city is growing.
Yes.
Like when you just look at the city and what it's doing as a city, where they building homes and the different areas they building homes, the community in itself is growing in a very positive light.
Facts.
And so the more positive eyes can come this way, that means the city in itself can grow, and that's just going to be a beautiful thing.
No,
Absolutely, and it's respect too. You know, it's like they respect what's going on. They respect the story. They respect everything that's developing, and they want to. And we have players that are hungry that want to. You know, they're playing for that same thing that a lot of other guys are playing for: the respect, the love of it, community, all those different things. And they're professionals. Some guys, you know. Most guys that go out to the Fresno ProAm and carry themselves as professionals, especially if they're already getting paid, those are the guys that we're kind of looking at and seeing what's your availability for this new tour team or things of that nature. So it's all love, man, and you know, we have Ballless Life reaching out and trying to figure out how we can, you know, put together a national communications plan, you know what I mean, to get on the national scene on that level. It's exciting, man. There's so much more moving parts this year than it was last year.
Yeah.
But all moving in the right direction.
No, and like you said, those moving parts is a testament of you and your team, you know, that family community that you guys create. Because even when you go to the game, man, it's all love. The energy walking in the gym is just pure love. Like, what's up, man? Yeah, you know, everybody hooping, everybody celebrating, everybody, you know, ain't nobody like, you know, why you playing? You know, it's more like competitive nature, competitive banter. And then after the game, they shake up, you know, all right, man, I see you later, woo-doo, woo-doo, woo. Me, especially even working that city, man, as a counselor, I see some of the players that played. And they be like, what's up, bro? You know, I saw you at the bro. I'm like, yeah, man, you still hooping and, you know, that kind of thing. So
that's cool.
It's good to have that community, family environment. Soon you walk in the gym, man, and you can see the work that you guys put into it because y'all own your P's and Q's. Y'all own it on the up and up, and y'all always keep that integrity. And I respect that. That's when you know something's got longevity, when you keep the integrity of it at a level where people, they got to respect it. That's when even, you know, if you was in a, like, I guarantee you, some of these dudes, if they was in a league where the integrity wasn't there, you probably have a little bit more fights. Because they'd be like, man, I don't give a damn about this league. But they respect, no, they respect this league. You know what I'm saying?
That's fact.
They respect this league so much where they're like, hey, man, I ain't going to do that. Not on this wide. Yeah. We may have to do something later, but not today.
And I think a lot of that, like I said, that attributes from the genesis of it, from the Clovis and the stuff that Alton was doing, and how that integrity, it started there. You feel me? When my first time, you know, showing up to those open runs and seeing like how, you know, arguments are gonna happen because that's just what we do.
Yeah.
But how arguments are resolved, it don't never go no further. It's we mad about a score, we mad about a foul, and then like, all right, bet. Well, we're gonna just solve it on the court. And just that level of, and just at the Clovis Rec, how nothing ever went crazy. When at Bullard, nothing ever went crazy. You feel me? Like, it's been so many different places where nothing ever went crazy. So then when we get to Fresno City, it's like, there's no reason to act up because we ain't been acting up, quote unquote. You feel me? And us being
a cultural thing.
Yeah, it's like us and the mix of young and older guys. Because like I said, I'm one of the older guys, and so I'm the type that'd step in and be like, you know, like, all right, man, nah, you know, and go talk to you because they're young. You feel me? They know what they know. They feel like they know what they know, but sometimes it's just like, they ain't that serious.
Right.
You feel me? Or just grab the ball as an older dude and we just gonna hoop. Let them finish whatever the case is. But in the midst of the ball, swing, they'll shut up just because it's like, we're not gonna sit there and hold the ball. Because you know how it is. The longer we sit there and allow them argue, they argue.
Right.
Check up.
That's a good point.
You feel me?
It was always a matter of like keeping that altercation down to like about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
If we can keep it down to 10 seconds, then there's a high chance that. And now, you know, I learned that from officiating. You know, because sometimes in officiating, I've been to NBA camps. They say, put the ball in play. Mm-hmm. They'll be quiet
quickly, and like and quick, and like I've seen it happen. And so like I got to moments it's like, all right, check up. And the minute you yell that word out, everybody, they still running their mouth, but it's like, all right, check up. You feel me? Because now, you know what happens. The two dudes who are arguing, check up. Well, here y'all go then.
Yep.
So now just sell it in hoops. And then again, they keep it, they keep it hoops. There ain't nobody doing nothing extra. And I feel also that, like I said, it's enough veteranship that if anything extra is brewing, it's enough veterans gonna step in and be like, nah, this ain't taking place.
That's that protective energy that exists, right? Because then you got ProAm basketball's been around for 50 to 60 years. Like, imagine 50 to 60 years ago in Fresno, there's guys now they're probably in their 60s or 70s. They're looking at this game. They still love this game.
Right.
They know they played this game. They're like, man, if that was here when I was growing up, or we used to go down to LA to go do this, or we used to go to the Bay and go do this. Now they're looking at this and they're like, hey, let's keep this. Let's keep this.
Gotta protect it.
Let's protect this.
Protect this.
Some of those guys right now are in their 30s.
Yeah.
They're in their 40s. And they're still around and they're really close to this game.
No, it's a beautiful thing, man. If you had to sum up, this season,
this upcoming
season, what would you want the end conclusion to be when people leave after season 3? The mindset.
The mindset of who?
Of the players and just the community coming to support. Like, all right, season 3 was, if you had to sum up season 3, I know it's we haven't started, but in your mind, what would you want that summarization to be? Season 3 was boom. You know what I'm saying?
From the end, so basically you're looking at it and then it ends, and if you have that conversation,
so I'm looking hindsight. So like end game, what? I don't know if that perspective really serves me or to even put that out because I'm trying to be in the now. Like I'm focused on being now.
Okay.
And if you've heard interviews from my first season, we were just talking about I just want to get through to the end of this season, have a good season.
Right.
What's a good season for me? Now I can answer to that. Like a good season looks like everybody having a good sweat. They got a good run in. Everybody who's on a roster felt like this added to their resume. They felt like this was a productive summer. They felt like being a part of this was productive for me.
Gotcha.
Like it was worth my time, because that's another thing that we respect everybody's time who shows up. Regardless of what you show up for or who you show up for, if you're spending time with us, like we appreciate that. And we spend our time building this and organizing this, and so we just would like to see that reciprocated.
Yeah.
And we're doing it with the utmost respect for other people's time.
Yeah.
And if there's any time that we feel like we cross that line, it was like, hey, y'all not respecting my time, then we want to have those conversations and resolve those issues. So it's built very, very carefully. But a good season looks like, everybody enjoying themselves, the community's excited about the game of basketball.
Yeah.
Fans are excited about the game of basketball. There's new storylines that have been put into the basketball community that's drawing more people to maybe the Save Mart Center, maybe to Fresno Pacific, maybe to Fresno City College. Some of these young men now have new fans. They feel they're heard, they're seen, they're understood on a human level, not just what you can do on the basketball court, but who you are off the court as well. Like they get to show that. That's what this platform is all about, man. It's the human beings that are on those rosters with those numbers on their backs. Yes, they can do some things that a lot of people can't do. And that's because that's their discipline. This is what they do. But I really want these guys to be able to shine and show who they really are in that space. And it's going to show. Like Deion Sanders says, when these lights are bright, it's going to show all your blemishes and all the different things. And that's true for me too, right? So I'm learning about myself throughout this process too. And so that's the beauty of this whole thing, man. It's not only changed like the lives of some of the guys who are participating, and the fans, and that whole experience, but it's also doing the same for me. So it's a full circle thing.
What's one thing you learned about, because you said that right? You said you learned about yourself. What's one thing that you learned about yourself in this whole process?
How to organize, how to be an organizer, really a community organizer. And what does organization mean? Like, I don't know about y'all, but man, I love when like I have this idea and then I find the name for an idea or the name for this thing that I've been thinking about, and I'm like, that's it.
Yeah.
Because like as humans, like we're philosophers. Like there's a name for everything in this room.
Yeah.
The color, that doorknob, there's a name for everything. So sometimes when I don't know what that is, but then I find that name to identify what it is that I'm talking about or what I want to do, I get so much like joy out of that.
Yeah, no,
because that's a part of organizing. Yeah. It's a part of putting things together. So if I say one word, you get it, we all get it. And now that's actually how Fresno ProAm as a brand came about, because I had this idea. I was like, pros, amateurs. Mind you, bro, when I was in college, I didn't know about Pro-Am basketball. I didn't know about the Drew League, believe it or not, as much as...
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, because we're from L.A., so it was one of those
Well, y'all knew.
Yeah. I didn't know about Frisco.
Yeah, I didn't
know.
But
all I knew L.A., and I knew the crossover.
Yeah.
Because Jamal Crawford is synonymous with Seattle. So all I knew was Drew League and that. I got introduced to the Bay Area because of you. You introduced me to that. I said, Frisco got a Pro-Am team? I ain't know nothing about that. Yeah. So, And
it made me question, like, damn, I really love this game, and I didn't even know about that. Like, it made me wonder, like, how much did I really love this game? How serious was I really taking if I didn't know about this opportunity real. Sitting there?
That's real.
So, that again, back to learning about myself, I'm like, 17-year-old self really wasn't into this thing like you thought you was.
Facts.
That's real.
You really didn't know about it the way you thought you did. You just loved playing the game. You needed to have this experience as a player so that now you understand that walk. You understand to a degree, right? I didn't go to the highest level, but you understand that journey, that emotional journey in a game when from a player's shoe standpoint.
Yeah.
So then that helps me, change the game experience for these guys that are playing.
Sometimes I bring it into the biblical sense. That was your purpose. Maybe, like I said, it wasn't meant for you to go all the way, but you was destined to get that experience to do what you're doing today.
Yeah.
And you have the best personality to make it all work because you just got that, man, when you just around you, bro, it's a good energy. It's like good vibes. It's love. It's respect. It's genuine. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like, some folks, they be like, hey, no. For you, it's like, hey, man, I'm going to respect you. All I ask is the same. Respect what I'm trying to do. Respect what I'm trying to put out. You know what I'm saying? We trying to make sure that this process for you is a productive process. You know what I'm saying? Both ways.
The camera.
Yeah.
I got you. So, Allison, let me ask you this right here as we wrapping up. What do you see from Coach Ralph and the Champs, man? How do you see, as an outside person looking in, just like with any basketball preview or review, you got your Champs coming back. How do you see the Champs, man? You feel like they on the verge of are they in the repeat stage? Do you feel like it's going to be a little different because there's more people?
Right.
Where do you see the Champs and Coach Ralph? Because Coach Ralph is a hell of a coach. Shout out to Coach
Ralph.
Hell of a coach. And what he did last year.
Yeah, I told him this to his face. His approach to the Pro-Am basketball space and what he sees in this opportunity is commendable. I tip my hat. I respect it, and he's drawn up plays in season 1, man. He's like drawing up plays, and he wants to know how to make it more structured for his team, and he's figuring out what that looks like for him. And I know that, when you have professional guys and amateur guys and a mixture of guys that you don't know, that it's tough to kind of manage that talent. It's a lot of talent on the floor from a minute standpoint, from a personality standpoint, and then you only have so much time with them.
Yeah.
So I just think it's going to be a challenge for him this year. I think it's going to be a challenge for him. I think, and I'm going to challenge him this year because he's going to have a couple 7-footers on his team. Ooh. He's going to have some real talent on his team that he's going to need to bring together, and he's going to be challenged. I think everybody's going to be challenged this summer, and you're going to see it. I think they're going to. I can say they're going to repeat, but I'm very neutral on that. Yeah. I'm very neutral on that
because I just look at the perspective of what they was able to accomplish last year.
They shocked everybody.
They did. Just because their regular season run was very mediocre. Let's call it what it is. Like, they didn't really do nothing that was like, ooh, they was going to do that. Because I believe the team who was undefeated, who was the blue team with Brian and them?
That was Call My Agent.
Yeah. They were like, playing against them, you felt helpless at times. Because I got a chance to run against them twice. And it was just like...
They're very sound. Those are all coaches, basically.
Because they play basketball the right way. And you and me being a coach and then a person playing against them, you get jealous because it's like, man, they just doing the right things. Like, one more, that pass, that extra thing. And so for to me, I had called my agent. I'm like, ain't nobody beating call my agent, bro. Just because they were a great team. And to see them lose in the fashion that they lost, you like, wait, hold up. And so, like I said, but to see Coach Ralph, because he also helped coach our team and tried to help us, guide us through that.
Where's that? Oh, your
ProAm team.
Yep.
And so, because he was doing double duty last year. That's another thing. Like, just even respect to him of doing double duty and coaching two separate teams and meshing different personalities from two separate situations. And so, like I said, man, he's a hell of a dude. He's a hell of a coach. He does things the right way. He could rub you off the wrong way because he's very direct in how he speaks to his players and what he wants accomplished. And it's like you have to respect the authority that's there. And he does not disrespect you as a man. He's just not about to allow foolishness in basketball. Yeah. And that was one of the things that I respected about him right off the rip. So he's
a leader.
Yeah, he is.
He's a leader.
He's definitely the man for the job. I think he's going to grow in this because you learn, like, all right, because it's not as, ain't nobody getting paid for it, you do have to kind of massage personalities and take different approaches how you speak to people at times. But that's a growing thing because you've thrust into a new situation. So, like I said, I got nothing but respect for him. I know this year it was very coach-centric, that it was a focus on making sure we getting high-level coaches and all that. So how's that process going as far as all the teams and coaching and all that?
That's a good question. I actually going to reach out to all of our coaches. We've had lots of interest from coaches, new interest. Because what happened last year is Ralph got a job offer from the ABA after season 2.
He did the Fresno Sun Rays, as they call it?
Yes, Fresno Sun Rays.
That's dope.
So what that said to me is there's real opportunities, career opportunities in this role. And so other people saw that. And so now the folks there's some guys who want to do some NCAA Division I coaching at some point in time in their career.
Wow.
So they're stepping into this role and saying, hey, I can add this to my resume. I can be amongst these guys and manage this roster and manage this talent. So I want to be, again, back to what I said earlier, I want to be able to look over to our leadership team, because that's a leadership program when it comes to our coaches. I want to be able to look over there and know that they can de-escalate situations. They can manage the talent. They can manage the minutes. They can manage the characters, the different characters that are on the floor, different egos. And I know it's challenging. I think all of our jobs are challenging if we care.
Right.
If we care. So yeah, it's developing. I think we'll have a full eight. All teams will have coaches and that are qualified and that are really, really not taking it seriously, like too serious, but like they care because they understand that there's professional athletes. They understand that there's D1 coaches that are looking and saying, "Hey, make sure Mark, take care of my D1 guys." Man, we got a season coming up in November, December. So
upholding the integrity,
sounds
man.
good,
Yeah,
man.
So
Fresno year 3, baby.
Let them know, man. When could they see Fresno ProAm season 3, man? When does the season start?
Season starts June 22nd.
Hey.
June 22nd at Fresno City College.
Yes.
The first game will tip off at 10 a.m. It's an early morning game. Not really early, but it'll be a morning game.
Early morning game.
So if you're a player, you know what I'm saying, make sure you get your rest.
Get some sleep.
So that's where we'll be.
Nah, man, but we appreciate you always, man.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man.
Our brother, we gonna be out there, man. We definitely gonna be out there for the games, man. So we can, like I said, you got Fox gonna be out there. Talk that talk gonna be out there. Connecting with the players. 'Cause we love the opportunity we got last year for the exhibition game at the end when we got to interview some of the players, interview the coach, and just talk about that whole experience, man. People really, really had a great time. And we want to continue to do what we can to help, bring light to Fresno ProAm and what you're doing, man, and what your camp is doing. Because, again, like I said, prior is that you have that certain energy about you that is all about genuineness and respect and integrity, man, and you respect that. You know what I'm saying? You're a father, man, you're a husband, and you can just tell those principles is in what you do. You care. It's not just, I'm just trying to make some bread, and no, I'm trying to do something impactful for this community, for the culture of basketball, for Fresno, that's going to help, like I said, give somebody an opportunity to get a job. Nobody thought about that. I coach in the ProAm, and now I got an opportunity to get a coaching position, man. Yeah. Like, you're opening up doors, man, and when you're opening up doors, you know, God is going to continue to allow you to do more of that so you can continue to be a blessing to a lot of other people, man. So keep doing what you're
doing. Like I said,
bro.
it's also just a lot of respect for you just respecting us and our platform and giving us the opportunity to be a part of, you feel me? Because you can look at us like, well, you know, they just some regular guys or whatever the case is, but you know, the fact that you respect everything we've been doing and you want us to be a part of it and be within it and not shunning us to the side, even with you having, you know, the bigger things that are going on, you know, just the simple fact that you still, you know, look at us like, nah, man, they're a part of the community. They're regular guys that are still trying to do their thing.
I'm a regular guy too.
Yeah, I know.
I'm definitely a regular guy.
Yeah.
God uses ordinary people to do some extraordinary things.
And that's the thing. Like, you feel me? And that's a part of it. Like,
absolutely.
You haven't allowed yourself to be like, well, yeah, I'm this, you know, you ain't.
Oh, I made that mistake already.
You did?
Oh, did I?
Oh, you had a moment.
Did I?
You had a moment.
Oh, did I? Playing career, you think having decorations, having this accolade and that.
Yeah.
Oh man, you couldn't tell me I wasn't going to go up to the league. Yeah. Again, how ignorant was that when I didn't know about a Drew League?
Yeah.
Right. Certain opportunities that can help me get to that. So I say all that to say this, that really prepared me to have a certain level of success and still be able to be like, I know what comes with the success, and a lot of it is what it is. And so I keep a, you know, I have a strong family support system that keeps me grounded. And so like, that's, you know, I see you guys growing with us. Like I just see, and you guys are talented, and I respect you guys. I respect your talent.
Appreciate you.
And so as the Fresno ProAm grows, we're going to grow together.
Yes, sir.
We're going to grow together.
Talk that talk, man.
You already know what it is.
Heard it, man.
You already know what it is.
Season 3 going down. Y'all better tune in.
Hey, and also, season 4, talk that talk. Just understand.
We're going to be out there.
Understand.
We got to have a team. I'm putting the money up.
Listen.
I don't know who's going to coach
season
it. Season
4.
We're going to have a team because we trying to win a championship.
Season 4.
I'm trying to add another banter to my championships.
Man. You feel me?
But we love y'all. We appreciate y'all, man. Y'all always remember to stay blessed, stay encouraged, and to talk that talk. Until next time.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Happy Mother's Day.
I got you. I'm not going to forget. That's what I'm here for. So happy Mother's Day. I love you, mama.
Love you, mama.
Hey, wife.
And all the sisters and all that.
Sisters.
Peace.